How's it going? This is a full crowd. Give me a second. Oh, I almost forgot. Before I start, Todd here, who got the show going, asked me to mention a couple of the sponsors for the show. So just a second. It's right here. Okay, tonight's show is brought to you in part by Lululemon, the classy way to wear pajamas in public. Can you all hear me, by the way? How about over here? Alright, I got a pretty loud voice, the microphone becomes kind of redundant sometimes, so... Oh, there's one more sponsor. So tonight's show is also brought to you by the General Liberal Education Requirements, also known as the Blurs, bringing down your GPA since 1969. Also brought to you by the Glurs, justifying at least half of the faculty's existence since 1969. Sorry about that. Alright, just give me a second. I have a really bad memory. I have to put everything down in a note, or I'll just get lost. So, I worked a lot of different jobs in my life. I have, you know, the resume's really long. But one place I did work was at Walmart. I was a night stalker. Not like the fun kind of follow after people and write creepy letters to them and stuff. More just putting things on shelves at night, kind of more. But my department was in the freezer, and I would, just bundle up, wear a coat. It wasn't too bad. I'm like the human heater, so it didn't really bother me. But this guy comes in to work with me one night. They sent him in because there was a lot of big shipment coming in. And he just can't stop talking about how fucking cold it is in there. He's like, it's so cold in here. It's so cold. How can you work in here every night in this cold? And I'm like, dude, I've been trying to get them to turn up the heat, but they're just not going for it. And he just looks at me like, if they turn up the heat, then the food will thaw. This is a freezer. I'm like, totally. I can't believe I didn't think about that. You can't mess with someone like that. It's not fair. It's like picking on a 4-year-old. They're like, aha! I am smarter than you! Of course you're smarter than me. I'm 4. What are you, like 50? No, I'm 29. I'm not fooling anybody with that receding hairline, Grandpa. That's right, that's how you deal with 4-year-olds. You beat the shit out of them, right? If they can't remember why you hit them, then you know you hit them hard enough. So I have a 4-year-old. Someone called Child Protective Services. Is he kidding? I don't know. We don't know. But it turns out my 4-year-old's actually smarter than I am. It's a hard thing to admit as a parent, but you get to that point. Like, yeah, he's smarter than me. Hey, shut up. No, I'm just kidding. Love him. But the problem with kids is, there's basically a really fine line between smart and smart-ass. I'll give you an example. We were driving around town the one day, I'm up front driving, running some errands, and, kid's in the back, he's in his, ejector seat, strapped in like a fighter pilot, And we pull up, and I'm in the middle of a song, I'm feeling it, I'm like, oh, it's so sweet, oh, yeah, you're good. I'm just feeling it, and he's like, Dad, I'm like, oh, so Dad, what? Can you come back and unbuckle me, please? Just a second, buddy. I'm just listening to the song. I really like it. I want to finish it. And he goes, Dad, do you have this song on your computer? I said, yes. He's like, then you can listen to it when we go inside. Come unbuckle me. My 4-year-old. I got schooled by my 4-year-old. I'm 29 years old. It's a hard shot to the ego. And of course, my first reaction is to go back and slap the shit out of him, right? You little bastard, you don't talk back to me like that. I did. Okay, I did. I thought about it, but then I thought about it and I said, actually, yeah. Can't argue with that logic, buddy. Let's go inside, you know? He totally schooled me. I had to accept it. But one thing fun about studying linguistics and phonetics is you get to, it teaches you to listen to accents and be able to tell where people are from by their accent, but then also doing accents, doing accents. And so I was working on a Scottish accent for a while, and I was working as a server a little while ago, and I wanted to try out my Scottish accent, see if it worked, see if people would actually believe it. And so my last, I have a last table of the night, no one else is around, so I'm going to go try this out. So I walk up to them. How are you? My name is Gabriel. I'll be your server tonight. Can I bring anything to drink? You say, oh, that's a cool accent. Where are you from? I say, oh, from Glasgow, Scotland. I'm here at the University of Leicester studying linguistics. And I'm, oh, cool, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I've been working on my Canadian accent. I want to hear it. I say, yeah. I say, oh, my name is Gabe. I'll be your server. No day to bed today. And then I was like, haha, gets me every time. But one time, I got a keener who'd actually been to Glasgow. And he says, hey, I was just in Glasgow a little while ago. What a cool city. What part are you from? And I was like, oh, you didn't want to hear about that.
She can get away with
And he says, no, I was just there. It was really cool. Where are you from? And I said, no, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But he wouldn't leave me alone. He's like, oh, is it because, the violence there? I've heard it's a really violent city with the gangs and everything. Is that what's going on? I'd say, no, didn't want to talk about it. And he just kept bugging me. Finally, I say, fight, I'll tell you. Okay, I'm walking down the street, right? Minding my fucking business like. And this hard cunt comes out of nowhere. Decides I'm in the wrong fucking town. Decides to fucking grievance with me. And I say, leave me alone, I'm not doing anything here. Pulls out a knife. Decides to slash me right here. I say, fuck that shite. Going to Canada. So I had a little talk with my manager after that. Mr. No Sense of Humor. Apparently there's such a thing as taking a joke too far. I don't know what he's talking about. But like I said, when you study language, you hear expressions. I hear expressions now and I just can't hear them the way everybody else hears them. It just drives me crazy. And at the same job, I show up for a shift, and there's this girl who's just getting off shift at the same time, and she has a list of things she needs to do so that I can start working. And I say, oh, by the way, did you get everything done on your list? And she says, Jesus, I didn't even have time to wipe my ass, let alone get all that shit done. She was a classy chick. But I thought about that and I said, you think you could make time for that? I've got some priorities in life, and skid mark free underwear is right up there. But I do have one expression that, more than any other expression, really just sticks in my craw and just bugs me, and I cannot hear it without just having rage and just wanting to punch them. And I can't even tell you normally. I wrote a poem about it. That's how much I feel about it. So I will read this poem to you. I said, thank you, baby. I don't remember when. I don't really remember what for. And she smiled and she said, it's the least I can do, just as she walked out the door. I thought to myself, oh, isn't that nice? Till I thought about it a little bit more. And as I pondered the meaning of those 6 simple words, something struck me right to the core. It's the least I can do. It's the least I could do. I would have done less, but I just couldn't do. I found the very least I could possibly do, and that's what I did for you. I promise you will never be able to hear that expression the same way again. Someone will be like, it's the least I can do. And I'll be like, you motherfucker. You selfish bastard. But I do love school. I love the atmosphere in school. I really like, you get the art on the walls, you get people having, demonstrations and meetings, and there's concerts, and the learning, everything is so much fun, and the free speech, but sometimes I think people take the free speech a little bit too far, and they abuse use it. I'm walking into the school a few weeks ago, and I come into the atrium, which is the big center place where people meet and gather, that kind of stuff, and there was this big row of people holding up big posters with dead babies on them. Abortion kills babies! And I'm like, what do you do? And you know, I'm not here to take a stance on abortion. It's not what I'm going to do. The problem with a topic like that is that people get so polarized, and it makes people just crazy. It makes people do really crazy things, like stand in the middle of an atrium with a big poster of a dead baby, 100 times bigger. Because the thing is, sane, rational, normal people do not hold up big posters of dead fetuses. You know, I don't believe in circumcision. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's antiquated and old and stupid. There's no need for it anymore. But you don't see me in the atrium holding the big poster of a penis on it. Hey everybody, look at this. It's a penis. Yeah, take that. Yeah, that's my penis you're looking at. Enjoy. That's my penis times 100. Yeah. No, I'm not doing that. He was the one, well, to put it as they put it, you know, Angel Gabriel came to Mary to tell her that she was chosen among women, that she was to be favored, that she was going to give birth to the Son of God, she was going to be mother of Jesus Christ, who's going to come and save all our sins. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. Another way is that God really didn't want to face Mary, and so he sent Angel Gabriel instead, because he was, you know, wasn't as careful as he thought after their little rendezvous. And, I mean, it probably took some convincing on his part too, you know, because Mary was supposed to be a good girl, you know, she was a virgin, she was engaged, and he's like, come on, it's not cheating, I'm God. It's all good. He's like, don't worry, if you're really worried about it, I'll make sure you're still a virgin after, I promise. Most Christian people I know get very offended by that. They get very offended by the idea of God having a sex drive. They're like, that's wrong, that's evil. They're holding up big posters. God doesn't have a sex drive. But I tell you, put this to you, if we're created in God's image, like they say, and we're horny buggers, why not? You know, the ancient Greeks had no problem with this idea. Zeus, he was fathering children all over the place. Could not keep it in the toga, that guy. He was a horny bastard, Zeus. But no, for Christians, it has to be much more, you know, the Spirit of the Lord descended, yeah, whatever. Pregnancy. It's a beautiful thing, right? My wife and I just had a baby about six weeks ago. Thank you. I say my wife and I, but I really had no part in it when it comes down to it. So my part was very easy from a long time before. But people used to come up to my wife and they would rub her stomach, you know, they'd be like, these little old ladies would be like, pregnancy is just such a beautiful thing. It's so beautiful, you're just glowing, you're blooming, and you know, I don't know, because like I'm not a woman, obviously, I'm never going to be able to get pregnant, I'm never going to experience this, but if I were to suddenly gain about 40 to 60 pounds, my ankles swell up like grapefruits, my hair is falling out of my head and showing up in other places, you know, I'm like flatulent, constipated, I've got heartburn, and some little old lady comes up and rubs my big fat belly that is getting in the way whenever I'm trying to walk up the stairs, I will fucking punch her. Little old lady, young lady, doesn't matter, I will take her out, touch the belly, and die, Grandma. A little sensitive. Of course, the birthing process, that's a beautiful thing too, but I do have to say, the nurses, hospital were wonderful, they were so kind, they were just so ready to make sure that, you know, my wife was as comfortable and relaxed as possible. She said, you know, sweetie, we just want to make sure you're as comfortable and relaxed as possible. Just make sure you're comfortable. Yeah, over here, yeah, we're just going to lift these legs up and get them spread right open up into these stirrups here. Yeah, over the head. Yeah, right up over the head. Okay, yeah, we just want to make sure you're nice and comfortable and relaxed. Yeah, bring the light, no, the big light. No, bring the spotlight. And shine it right dead center on the vagina. Yeah. You comfortable? You feeling relaxed? And once again, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't my feet in the stirrups up over my head. It wasn't my vagina in the spotlight. But I don't know how relaxed wife she was. And I do love being married. It's definitely better than being single. You know, I love having kids and married. It's so much fun. But I know that, you know, in every person's life who is married, is a long-term relationship, they sit there and they go, you know what, I kind of miss sometimes being single. I miss the freedom of it all. Just being able to go off and do whatever I want, you know. Let's take a trip to Edmonton. Let's go to Vegas. Whatever, let's go see this concert. You know, that kind of freedom. But I tell you, being able to have your wife walk in on you when you've got your foot propped up on the counter, you're naked, and you're trying to get a good angle in the mirror to like pop a zit on your ass, having her walk in on you like that and still want to have sex with you, I wouldn't trade that for anything. You can't beat that. You know what I'm talking about. You've been there. I mean, you throw that out on a one-night stand, that's a deal's over. Hey, sweet cheeks, I got a big white head back here. You mind squeezing that off for me? No, she's going home. So a few years ago, I had a friend who just new to town, didn't know the area very well, wasn't really familiar with the southern Alberta kind of ways, and he was giving me a ride downtown, and he notices on the car in front of me, he says, hey, what's that fish on that car? I said, that's a Jesus fish. He's like, what's a Jesus fish? I said, really? I'm like, well, you know, it's the fish that Christians put on the car, you know, so the rest of us know which one's the key, right? But no, I didn't say that. I said, well, you know, Christians put it on their car, you know, it's to remind them what they're supposed to do. It's kind of like them wearing the WWJD bracelet, you know, what would Jesus do? He said, huh, well, that's true. Apparently Jesus would cut me off and give me the finger. And speaking of traffic, I was walking downtown a few weeks ago, and I nearly got ran down by a handy bus. No joke. If I didn't know any better, I'd swear they were trying to drum up business. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful night.